What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 23 of the Sportsman Dan Show. My dog is making some noise in the background, and I am extremely excited to be going to my first national in just 48 hours. But without further ado, let's get to it.
Sportsman Dan. Sportsman Dan, I know. Rob,
Also, real quick, shout out Sportsman Dan.
Sportsman Dan, the other Dan. Well, you go. What'd you call him for?
Can't call myself a countryman, cause I sit on my ass and don't work my land. One of these days I'll give a damn.
Creed, can you take me higher? Stop it. All right, how's everybody doing out there? It is officially Monday, July 27th, 2026, and I'm a little bit over 48 hours from being at my very first ever national in Rosemont, Illinois. Now, I've never even been in the Chicago area. I generally kind of skip the Midwest. That's a joke. I got a lot of friends in the Midwest and Ohio. I've been to Colorado. That counts as a Midwest. But I will be honest, knocking out a lot of these Midwest ballparks is on my list. Cincinnati Reds, Great American Ballpark, I need to do. I was supposed to go to Coors Field in Denver before I snapped the arm. But anyway, I'm very excited to knock out Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Southside Chicago, and hopefully Wrigley Field as well. Although I'm not quite there just to knock out stadiums. I have a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5-day pass, 6-day pass. I can't count. I'm too excited. I'll be at the National every single day that they're having it at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, and I'm purely ecstatic. I'm getting through work the rest of these days, and then I'm literally digging through boxes of cardboard. Can't wait. Can't wait. So I'm probably not going to focus too much on value boxes for this episode. Everyone digs differently. I just like to find stuff that speaks to me, and that might not speak to other people. I don't think other people are going through value boxes looking for 2004 Tony Romo rookie cards. I am, or 2005, maybe first 2 years, or trying to find a nice little Marion Barber patch card. Right, that's stuff I'm looking for in a value box. What I am going to be looking at and talking to vendors for is a very, very special collection in PC to me. And that is, let me share my screen here. I feel like I'm back at work. The 1986 Mets. Now, I'm just going to focus on the postseason roster for, what I plan on collecting. But as you can see right here, see if I can blow this up a little bit. I'm trying to collect every single member of the 1986 Mets playoff roster. I actually had it in a nice spreadsheet. It was color-coded, and I had marked out everything that I needed. However, that somehow got deleted. So I know off the top of my head, I got Rick Aguilera. He was extremely difficult for some reason. I don't know why Rick Aguilera doesn't sign more autographs, but he doesn't. Rick Anderson, I do need Rick Anderson, a pitcher. I have Wally Backman. I do need Bruce Berriani. I don't believe this is a playoff roster. I think this is just the Mets roster, but they say it is. Gary the Kid Carter, I do have him. One of my favorite catchers of all time. One of the best, if not the best catcher of all time. You heard me, Gary the Kid Carter. First baseman Tim Corcoran. Tim Corcoran. I do not have his auto. Still need his. Ron Darling. I'm really hoping to get a Ron Darling auto at the National. I'm sure I'll have a lot to pick from, but preferably an on-card 1986 auto. Lenny Dykstra. I'm looking to upgrade my Lenny Dykstra auto. Currently, I have a 1-of-1 leaf printing plate, and it's pretty cool, and it's a Lenny auto, but I should bring that. Hopefully I can trade that. I'd like to have an 86 Lenny auto. The printing plate just doesn't mean that much to me. Kevin Elster, the shortstop from San Pedro, California. I need his. Sid Fernandez. Sid the Kid. I do have Sid Fernandez's auto. George Foster. Yeah, I don't think he was on that. He got traded, didn't he? I wasn't alive then, but again, I could tell you that this isn't correct. So I would like a George Foster auto, but I'm not looking for that. John Gibbons, catcher. I'm not sure he was on that playoff roster either. I'm pretty sure he was not. Of course, Doc Gooden. I have Doc Gooden, but I will always be looking for a good Doc Gooden auto. Ed Hearn, the catcher, I need him. Danny Heap, the outfielder, I still need him. I have Keith Hernandez. I do have Keith. I'd like to meet Keith Hernandez, but I don't believe he's going to be at the National. Stan Jefferson, I do need. Hojo, Howard Johnson, got him, met him. Great guy. Legendary Howard Johnson. I asked him what kind of music they like to listen to in the clubhouse. He said, depends who's pitching. So whoever the starting pitcher was, Hojo told me that's who they let pick the music in the clubhouse for the 1986 Mets. So that's pretty sweet. So I was like, okay, then with Doc Gooden's pitching, like, what was he gonna play? He was like, he's like some hip hop, man. I was like, some like Eric B. He was like, oh yeah, yep. He was like, Eric B for sure was played in that clubhouse. So anytime I meet any of these guys from the 1986 team, I always try to ask them like their favorite song or whatever from that season. Terry Leach, pitcher, do not have him. I could use it. Ed Lynch, pitcher, I don't have his. I could use it. Barry Lyons, the catcher, I don't have his auto. I actually believe he comes to a lot of 757 card shows, but I've just missed him. Dave Magadan, the first base, I do need him. Lee Mazzilli, the outfielder, I do need him. I believe he was not on the playoff roster either. I do have Roger McDowell. I see. I'm looking at some bullcrap list here. But the key ones are all there that I pretty much need that are left. And that's on me for not finding my spreadsheet. I gotta find it somewhere. I had it color coordinated and everything to conditional formatting. I'm genuinely upset I don't have it. And it's one of those ones I could easily recreate in probably like 2 minutes. It wasn't that special. But the fact that I already had it and no longer have it, I will spend 2 hours looking for it instead of 2 minutes just making another one. And what we call that in business is the sunk cost fallacy. Speaking of sunk cost fallacies, no, I joke. The Orioles are playing tonight, and I am still a diehard fan. I do still think we're going to make the playoffs. I'm just going to tune into the game a little bit later. Maybe they're going to surprise me or disappoint me. I have absolutely no idea what's going on right now. Of course, it is recorded on Masson. This might sound blasphemous. Watching baseball on recording is kind of a cheat code because you can fast forward past all the commercials. Because when a pitcher comes in from the bullpen, he's there. He's already there pitching. And sometimes I get downtime of baseball. When you're at the stadium, obviously you can sit and chill and relax. But sometimes at home, it's nice to get past the commercials. No, I'm only doing this for the fans because I know I'm so behind on my last episode. And speaking of which, I said I was going to be a lot more consistent in my last episode, which was a month ago. So that's what I get for, saying I wasn't going to I wanted to under-promise and over-deliver. There you go. Realistically, I've had a lot going on. This is my side hustle, my side hobby. This is one of my side hustles and side hobbies. I play in a band with my younger brother. I also work a 9 to 5. Actually, I just bought a house with my younger brother, knock on wood, if it all goes through here. So that's been very exciting, as well as a move coming and living with a bandmate and brother. Maybe I'll get him selling on Whatnot. I've been trying. He's a diehard Washington Redskin fan, and he won't let me say Commanders fan. He said he's not a Commanders fan. He's still a Washington Redskins fan. But no, he loves Jaden Daniels. He loves that Commanders team. He's telling me about Trey Amos and all these guys the other day. So I really want to get him involved, but I got a lot going on. And I'm excited to burn some of my PTO for this national. I'll tell you what. One of my buddies was like, "You're going all the way to Chicago just for this sports card thing?" He's like, "This is your first time in Chicago?" I was like, "Yeah. Like, yes, maybe that is lame. Totally understand. I'm extremely excited. There's other things I want to do in Chicago, but also, I got celiac disease now. So those who are not familiar, I can't have gluten. Gluten is trying to kill me, and it's winning somehow. It's in everything. But I can't have that deep dish pizza and everything. So, that Chipotle down the street, that'll work. Yard House, right? Little PF Chang's. I'm all right. I love a little bit of the suburban life from time to time. There's a Dave and Buster's nearby. I think I'll be okay. I'm very, very hopeful, and we'll see. But David Sandlin could possibly get called up. It'd be so sick to see him pitch for the White Sox in person. Um, Friend of the show, one of my first interviews of an MLB player, my first interview of an MLB player on the Sportsman Dan show. So overall, I'm just super ecstatic to be in Chicago. I think I'm gonna meet up with. I don't know how many people I told him I'd meet up with because I might not be able to meet up with all of them. And so now I'm like, just just go there and have fun and don't be worried about trying to obviously I'll have my phone on me, but I'm just gonna go there and be overwhelmed. That's my goal. Um, I have no expectations. I fly in like 6 a.m. My flight leaves like 6 a.m. Wednesday. I fly out Sunday. Um, I'm in for the long haul, and I cannot wait. Ball card show. My buddy Moody's going to be at Backyard Breaks. I mean, you got sports card nonsense. I mean, you got Michael Vick, Lawrence Taylor at the DC Sports booth. Uh, it, I'm going to be card hunting, value box hunting, trade nights. I'm going to be stacked with Kobe Mayo. If anyone out there wants some Kobe Mayo cards, come find me. I don't know if I'm going to have the cream of the crop, but I'll make sure I'll have some good stuff for trade night. Um, my hotel, I'm not staying right at the convention center. So it's my first national. I don't know. I'm not sure about walking around Chicago with cards on me. I don't know. It's Rosemont. I get it. But don't ever do this. I don't know if you guys ever done that, but pull up the crime map. I did that. And it's like, I'm in a green spot where I'm staying. And then the Nationals in a red spot. And where I would have to walk to get there is a more red spot. I was like, oh, okay. That seems terrible. Might be Uber in it each day. No shuttle from my hotel. Again, in hindsight, maybe should have got a hotel a little closer. It's a fine hotel. I'm happy with it. But no shuttle, a little bit of a distance, not too far. I thought it'd be walkable because I'll walk 2-3 miles. It's less than that, but I'll walk 2 miles. I love walking in cities. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do. In Seattle, I had to soak my feet in an ice bath that I made because all these hotels now just have showers. So I had to use a trash can, I'm sorry, to make an ice bath. Too much information because I wore boots, but I walked like 20 miles in Seattle. And it was a beautiful city, not as walkable as I would have liked. But you just see a lot of things that you miss when you're in a car, when you're walking around a city. That's when I bought shoes because I only brought my boots there, and I was like, oh, I'm developing a lot of blisters. So I love walking in cities. Um, I'm down to walk a lot, but I'm pretty sure where I'm at, I'm gonna have to Uber every day, which kind of stinks. Uh, Hope to make some friends. I already got a couple friends I think will be there. Like some offered rides, and I was like, no, I'll be all right. But I'll be like, hey, actually, have a ride. So we'll see. I'm not against begging. No, I'm not gonna. It'll probably be like a $10 Lyft or Uber. But that's the only thing that's kind of weighing on my mind. Like I don't know this area that well. I'm definitely gonna be better safe than sorry. The gluten-free food, unfortunately, I have to worry about. But nowadays, a lot of people have food allergies, and I mean, I bet there's going to be other people there at the National that have celiac disease, believe it or not. I mean, there's tons of card collectors. And if you're Irish or Welsh, you're more predispositioned to get celiac disease. And I look around at the card shows and I do see a lot of guys who look like they could be Irish or Welsh. I'll just say that. Um, Look, after I got diagnosed with celiac disease, I lost 50 pounds. I'm not exactly the epitome of health, okay? Um, I'm going on a tangent. This is my cage lawyer episode, but I just want to record, and sometimes I don't have the right time to record. I'm tired. I want to do this. I have these other responsibilities. No, I really just need to sit down at a laptop, pull up StreamYard, and hit record. Now there is some other stuff that goes on, but overall, that is the main idea. And when I say other stuff that goes on, I hope I got my audio right, and it looks like I did. When I get to the National, I plan on making a lot of content. I'm gonna be there so many days. I really want to. And I know I've promised this before, but I got a little tripod. I can go there that first day and just set up in the corner and just talk about what I'm doing. Go live. I don't know if I can go live on Instagram. I think I might not have enough followers, but that's okay. I can go live on different platforms. Check me out on TikTok, Sportsman Dan, I believe. Instagram, Sportsman Dan BC. But again, I just said I can't go live from there. But YouTube's going to be the big one. I got a Field of Dreams stream coming up with Brady as well. Anybody's tuned into those, it's a lot of fun. Brady's an old friend from high school. And as you guys see, he's a baseball nut and whiz. He knows a lot about baseball in general. So it's kind of cool reconnecting with him and doing those live streams. He's a super, super nice guy. I know he's talking over me sometimes in the streams, but that's just Brady's personality. I talk over people all the time. So, you know, who am I to talk? Oh, going forward, I don't know about these tangents. I'm not going to watch this back. I'm just going to put it out there. But maybe a little direction's good. I like doing the reoccurring segments, but there's going to be none of that today. There's no This Day in History. There's no Kobe Mayo Corner. There's no Orioles update. There's no prospect talk. There will be going forward, though. I love all those segments. I love talking sports. That's why I sell cards. That's why I'm set up as a vendor. It gives me an excuse to talk sports. I'm not one of those guys who believes I'm going to make $1 million selling sports cards. I'm not one of those guys who even really is trying to make it my full-time job. I guess it would be cool eventually, like having a sports card memorabilia shop or something like that. But I'm not looking to make the most out of every transaction. I'm not trying to, build, and track it all in spreadsheets. I do that for work. I don't want this to be work. I genuinely want to enjoy it. And so I've been kind of going with different concepts with how I've set up my sports card business, and this has been the most enjoyable for me. You're going to see more Monopoly boards at my table. You're going to see dumb stuff at my table. You're going to see my Conflict Desert Storm cards. I have a George H.W. Bush card. I have a Saddam Hussein card. I have a Dick Cheney card. I have a John Hancock card. It's a piece of one of his newspapers. You're not going to find a ton of case hits in downtowns. I don't think right now I'm carrying any case hits or down. I have a couple, home field advantages. Dylan Cruz, I think, but that's because I love the bald eagle. And despite what Gary from the Ball Card Show says, I think Dylan Cruz is going to end up being a pretty good MLB player. It's just going to take him, I think, a little bit longer. I just love talking like that. I'm going to argue with Gary about Jackson Holliday. I already have it in my mind because I think he's wrong about it. And I love talking prospects. And one of us will be right because the kid's 22 years old. But at card shows, that's where I'm talking the collectors and like the diehard fans and stuff. The guys who used to sell sneakers who now sell cards. I just don't, that's not, I get it. You can make money doing a lot of things, but that's not what I'm focused on, right? It's like, what is the focus? Obviously, I'm not an idiot. You can't go to these card shows, spend $100, $150 on a table, and just lose money. I mean, you can do that, and people do that. I'm not doing that. Of course, I'm trying to make a profit, and nobody ever lost money making a profit. Remember that. No one ever lost money making a profit. I think in sports cards, some people do forget that. Timing a card right, sometimes it's like timing a stock right. You got to just eventually know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I like that part aspect of it. A little prospect chasing, like Samuel Basayo. Tee him up. Would you sell Samuel Basayo now if you had a big card, or would you keep? Well, maybe not now. Let's say when Samuel Basayo comes back from injury and he has a 2 home run game. Are you selling or are you holding? I'm holding. I think he's extremely special. But then again, look how people value prospects in the long term. Look at Jackson Holliday's market. Because of what Jackson Holliday's market was in the past is why I'm not going to name him again. I feel like I'm picking on him, and that was not the point. The Ball Card Show are fantastic, and if you haven't checked out their Whatnot streams or eBay Live, go check them out. They did not pay me to say this. They have no idea that I'm saying this. I'm just rambling. The reason why people hate on Jackson Holliday is because his card market did not represent his actual on-field production. His market value for his cards did not relate at all to his on-field production at the major league level. He was a AAA star. And I know that because I watched him in AAA and I watched him struggle with the major leagues. It's the potential, the hype, the number 1 overall pick. And because of that, a lot of people got burned, or not necessarily got burned, but they knew it. They were saying, I know he's not worth that right now. And then when his market dropped, like it has right now. It's down, what, 50%, 75%, I believe, over like the past 2 years. If you look at his Bowman Chrome First Autos, his market's dropped, let's say minimum 30 to 38%. I know it's more than that. His market's dropped 38%. Everyone who saw that before and that market evaluation, the first thing they're going to say is, I told you so. And they're going to be, it's like, there's never going to be a value where they say, oh, that makes sense to buy. Because I understand they already saw the drop. Why get on a sinking ship? Now, let me tell you my perspective and what I think. This kid's 22 years old. He's been under a microscope, I just got off work, his entire career. Jackson Holliday has never not been under the microscope. Jackson Holliday never played college baseball. Jackson Holliday grew up in the minor leagues. When he came to Norfolk and played for the Norfolk Tides, he couldn't check into a hotel because he wasn't 21. At the Marriott, they were like, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Marriott. How could I do the Orioles dirty? I believe it was the Hilton. The Norfolk Hilton, they wouldn't let him in. They said, you're not 21. And I know Jackson didn't do this, but what he should have said was like, did you see on the ID where it said Jackson Holliday? Like, do you need to Google what my signing bonus was? I can afford a room here at the Hilton. I can buy out a floor at the Hilton, multiple floors. No, they eventually got squared away. But the point is that we've never actually seen Jackson's full potential, and that's why his card market now, I think, could be a buy. Now, I get it was overvalued. I understand. Number 1 overall pick. His dad's Matt Holliday. The injury is not great. The hamate bone breaking, showing some pain on the swings, struggling on the infield. He's back at shortstop today. I'm very excited to watch this game. In fact, I need to pause it right now to make sure that I am recording this game. And we're back on my Jackson Holliday tangent. This isn't even just a tangent. This is a aggressive ramble. A rampage. This is my Jackson Holliday rampage. Look, he's 22. He grew up in the minors. He has unreal power. He has unreal fielding skills. Fielding skills and unreal reactions. He can play second. He can play short. Shoot, you can even put him at third. But why would you do that when you have Kobe Mayo? We don't need to worry about third base. Jackson Holliday can play short or second. He's a long-term infielder for the Baltimore Orioles. I think I'm still holding some of my autos. I don't think now's the time to sell. And I'll say it. If anything, it might be a time to buy on Jackson Holliday. And I'll leave it at that. Now, sticking with my Baltimore Orioles, Dylan Beavers is batting leadoff. I didn't look at the score. Kobe Mayo's at third base, Jeremiah Jackson at second base, and Jackson Holliday at shortstop. I mean, I really do like this lineup. This is like the Norfolk Tides dream lineup. I know Gunnar Henderson and DH, he's been struggling. Look, Gunnar is Gunnar. I think, eventually he'll come around and produce, but I'll be honest, I don't know if Gunnar Henderson is going to be an Oriole a long time. And if you're familiar with his agent, Scott Boras, I think you guys all know exactly what I'm talking about. But no, I mean, Gunnar Henderson is an Oriole for now, and that's what matters, right? And I do want the Orioles to win now, but I love Dylan Beavers. I think him at leadoff, he has unbelievable speed. He's got a great swing. He's looking to put the bat to the ball. He's not looking to hit home runs. And he does have that power to hit home runs. But that's, like I said, that's not what he's looking to do. A bit of a rough game yesterday, but he had the walk-off the day before that. I love JJ make hits. Jeremiah Jackson is a gamer. And I've already talked about Jackson Holliday and Kobe Mayo enough on these podcasts and podcasts in the past. I just think those guys need to play every day. I think this is a solid team. And same with Samuel Basayo when he gets back from injury. It's just a matter of keeping them on the field and letting them figure stuff out defensively. Especially Dylan Beavers. I think he could be a center fielder. We don't really know. But obviously he's more of a right fielder and definitely a corner infielder for the time being. Well, I think this ramble is about running out of steam. Nothing but tangents today. My New York Mets are cooked. Freddie Peralta apologized, whatever that means. And then there was a video of Juan Soto talking to Lindor during batting practice. And they're like, see, they're friends. And I'm like, Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? If any Mets fans out there, you're like, oh, wow, like Juan Soto and Lindor are friends. That's awesome. That just totally, makes the season now. I don't even care the fact that we're terrible. Um, every year, for those of you know, I know sports betting's dumb. Do not sports bet. But every year, I put in a bet for my Orioles and Mets to meet in the World Series. The last time that hit would have been 1969. So, I believe they might have met since then, to be honest, but I wasn't around. I know it hasn't happened in my lifetime, but one day, maybe next year, is what I'm saying. Because even though I'm holding out hope for my Orioles, I definitely know the New York Mets will not be in the World Series. Not in 2026. That is. 2027 is not looking great either. And on that note, this has been episode 23 of the Sportsman Dan Show. I can't wait to be at the National. Unbelievable. And Dave and Buster's.